welcome. I'm super excited that you are here for this week for Simply Sarah. We have Stephen Maresca, and I can't wait to bring him in. So we're just going to go ahead and have him come join right away. Stephen, I would love for you to share your enthusiasm, your excitement. Where does this come from, Stephen?
First, thank you so much for having me. I've been so stoked to get to meet you and have the opportunity to talk to you and talk to some people and stuff out there. You know what? I'd like to say that I know the formula, but I was born in that with it. I think from day one, I was the kid that just loved everybody. My mom would say you would just bring strangers home to the house and stuff as a little kid, and you just loved everybody and stuff like that, and just took people for who they are and stuff. And I really have kind of continue that through my whole life. And so I've been very blessed, at least with the initial, and then I've grown upon it as in seeing, others out there and creating energy from them and created it in a positive way. I think that if there's one thing I would like to leave everybody with, and yourself too, is that I am the glass half full, for lack of better terminology, and I'll never deviate from that, no matter what has been thrown my way. And we're going to probably get into what's been thrown my way with that.
Let's talk about what's been thrown your way, because truly, Stephen, you have a remarkable story, and it connects in with what you also do as your livelihood.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if you're wanting a little backstory. I've been in the business now. I'm starting to date myself. I love it. Almost 30 years. Was in the the fantasy land of thinking I was going to be a professional soccer player. And luckily I had a professor that goes, Stephen, you're not going to make any money at that. You might want to find a different avenue. And he introduced me to the world of fitness. And I'll never forget that my first time going to a gym and seeing a trainer's work and working with people and, the excitement. I'm like, you can get paid for this? Oh, I'm in. Like I really, so was really kind of fell in love with the fitness avenue, and movement has always been a big proponent of our family and what have you. My brother was also a budding professional soccer player as well, and some of the backyard games were incredible. But so I kind of grew up in that atmosphere, which I love. Was always playing outside. So movement was such a crucial part of my life. And about 12 years ago, though, after being in the field and loving what I'm doing and getting to see people, fitness gains and what have you, my life changed drastically in a split second. And I was out at the beach out here in Malibu. My beautiful wife, who she has a lot of other nicknames, Baywatch Girls, Angel, Love, all those things that you'll hear about, was on the beach. She was the only one on the beach. I was surfing and took a wave. It was I went back out to go take one more wave. It was that old one more wave deal. And I went out and on that wave, I got thrown over the falls, they call it. It was a small, I'd like to tell you, Sarah, that it was this huge 20-foot wave, but it was probably 3 feet, if that. And it rolled me up and I headbutted the sandbar and broke my neck. And my life changed immediately. Within that second, I became paralyzed in the sense that it's called a jump facet. So my vertebrae, if you can think about your vertebrae, or here, my vertebrae, my fifth vertebrae jumped into the canal like that. So my spinal cord was kinked. It didn't sever, but it was kinked. And within that, I lost all fine motor skills. So I could throw my arms up, but I couldn't hold them, and knew immediately I was in bad shape and in trouble. And Cindy was my wife's name, Cindy, on the beach, reading her magazine and stuff. And I'm screaming and hoping that she hears me. And she wasn't. And I was starting to drown. And I gave it one go. I got to get one more effort. And I rolled myself and screamed her name. And I've been hurt enough. If you ever talk to her, she'll say, "Oh, cripes, what did he do this time?" type of stuff. But she stood up and she saw I was in a little bit more trouble than usual and stuff. And I have this vision, and I don't know if this I see Cindy running down the beach in her black bikini, and it wasn't a red one like on Baywatch. It was a black one. but she really, truly, and it's so crazy. It's 12 years, and I'm just talking to you right now, Sarah. It's fun when I get into the details. I get emotional because I can immediately be there, and to see somebody you love on the flight of coming down, in a sense, saving your life. I don't know how to put it into words, but once I saw that, I knew that I was going to be at least okay to this point. So I don't know if this is okay to keep talking about that, but so
Yes.
next thing I know, she came up on me, and I said I broke my neck, and she thought I had broke. She's all, cripes, you didn't break your neck, just you're being dramatic. I'm like, no, I can't move. And then she snapped into it, and Cindy was also a first aid and CPR certified instructor, so she used to teach us, so she knew to stabilize my neck. But I'm dead weight, and luckily there was an off duty lifeguard in the station, and we were by a station that saw I was in trouble, and he came down to assist. And then it went from there, as in the ambulance, rushing me to UCLA Neurological Center. I had feeling in the ambulance. I like I said, I've been hurt enough throughout my life that I'd like, all right. And and I've actually, just a side note, within my training, have worked with, a lot of developmental disabilities, as well as, traumatic injury training. So I know adaptive training. And I have a dear friend who is pretty much was a spinal cord injury survivor, and he's pretty much paralyzed from the waist down. And I remember just pinching my legs, because he has, not the feelings, and I'm keep pinching. Okay, I can feel that. I get to UCLA, and I'm in the ICU. I mean, in the emergency room, and side note, the doctor walks in, and I can date myself. He's like Dookie Howser. He's like, he looks like he's 10, and I'm like, how the freak old are you? And he goes, I'm 35. Is that going to be any trouble? I go, no, you're like Dookie Howser, aren't you? You're just a brilliant one. Yeah, they're the one I want. And everybody's just beautiful too. I'm like, what's going on? It's so surreal. But I'm sitting there, and they're trying to relocate me, and my neck. So I have a little dent still in my head. They screwed in screws for a halo to kind of help to reconnect, hopefully, my spine, because my spinal cord was swelling, but it didn't happen. They put like a sandbag, a rope that tied to that over a little bar, and it was hopefully to traction me back into alignment. And then I'd go into surgery, because surgery was more difficult for my case, because what happened is it didn't work, and I became I became paralyzed. I started pinching my leg, and I couldn't feel it. And I remember saying, Doc, I can't feel my legs. And he goes, no, you were moving and stuff. And I'm like, Doc, I'm trying everything in my power. And it was the most sobering thing, when you send a message from your brain and knowing movement, and I'm trying everything internally, positivity or whatever, like, come on, man, just move your toe, and it's not responding. It was very scary as all heck, and so he goes, you're going the wrong way, Steve. I gotta make a call to my superior. And Dr. Lou was called at late in the evening. It was about evening time now, and I went into surgery at 12:30 a.m., which is just incredible. Here's a guy, Doc, sleeping, and he's up, and then 6.5 hours later, I woke up. They relocated my spine and put 2 bars in. And they just were hope for the best. They told Cindy, it looks good what we did. Now we got to hope for the best. And I woke up in the ICU, and I'll never forget this, Sarah. I look at my big toe, you're all groggy, and I'm like, oh, come on, just move. And my big toe just went, and I'm like, oh. And then I know, right? And I just passed out and everything. And I'm like, I was out. And I'm like, well, I said to myself, my higher power, I talk to God or whatever your higher power is. I'm like, thank you. Give me that, and I'll work my tail off to get back to whatever degree. I didn't know what it was going to be, but I knew that if you allow me that at least initial opportunity to still move a bit, I will do the work. And then literally my journey back to where I'm at today, still, being able to come talk to you and still be able to do the thing I love within training. It's like I said, it'll be 11 years this October. And Yeah, I tell people it's, I just this past couple of years, my physical being has kind of back to where I remember and stuff. But I'm still like numbing some of these digits and got to watch how I position my neck. But, I don't want to get long winded, but the journey of movement again, I mean, literally learning to walk again. I remember sitting up for the first time for like just 20 minutes. And I got to tell you, Sarah, it felt like I had run a marathon 3 times over. I slept for a day and I just literally just sat up. So it was very sobering. This wasn't going to be, all right, I hurt myself, a couple weeks, get back in the game. It took me some months. I went to Northridge Rehabilitation Center for my outpatient therapy. I was there for a few weeks, staying overnight and stuff. And the people there were just incredible, the therapists. And it was, I got to tell you, Sarah, that was also one of the, there's so many learning things. And I know it's hard because there's so many other details. I don't want to get overly long-winded, but knowing when I remember going there and I'm now starting to be able to stand up and everything. And I'll never forget the therapist goes, all right, we're going to do a lunge. And I don't want to be swearing too much. I go, oh, that's not going to go down, bro. Because I know how hard a lunge is because I instruct them. And knowing how my body feels right now, I'm going to get down there, but there ain't no way I'm getting back up. He's like, no, I got you. And I think for me, knowing what movement and, at least what I believe I instruct very, good technique and safety in my training, that I was able to at least send the message. So I really was able to, I think, maybe expedite a little bit. My body responded to my rehabilitation really well, and they were awesome. And I always tell people on this is, this is what happens a lot of times is it's always, all right, I told you to do 10 repetitions. All right, I'm going to do 11. And I didn't do that. What I wanted to say, what I said is, all right, you asked for 10 repetitions. I'm giving you 10. That's 100% of what you asked me to do. There's no such thing as 110, or there is less than 100. But I always said I will achieve that. And then I know that whatever was given to me, I had done it to 100%. So if I wasn't responding to it or things weren't working, I could then go, all right, man, my body's not responding that way. We need to go a different path or whatever. And I was fortunate, as my doctor said, you won the lottery, so don't play it. And I still do. I do still play it, especially when it gets really good. Yeah. So I had such a great support system, and I really truly believe you pull upon wherever that is. So I was very open to everything, different types of religious heads would come in, whether it was a rabbi, paths, whatever, and just to talk. And then I had people who I never knew before were, sending vibes my way. I mean, people in Hawaii where my buddy was and stuff that I told you about, who had been he was in a diving accident, and he went on a paddle out with people I don't even know. And they say he put positive vibes into the universe. And, I believe if you open yourself up to the bigger scope of life, your being can accept that. And, and to each their own. I'm not going to sit here and get on a soapbox or anything. I tell people, this is how I went about at least the rehabilitation in the physical sense. And then also it's how I approach my business in life I want to understand it and then gear it towards what I would feel good to my being, but I never want to close the door and stuff. So, but
we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have more of a conversation with Stephen Maresca. He's going to be sharing more with us, as he is a trainer for the stars, about his own journey back to wholeness.
Do you feel like you've been having to work hard to be healthy? I have felt like this too. My name is Christy Jones, and I'm a holistic health and mindfulness coach and educator. And I have found some efficient and simple ways that we can really help maintain our health, even in challenging times. We know we are in a time where our food is nutrient lacking. We're not always getting the nutrients that we need from our food. We also know we're in a time of more toxicity than we even want to think about. Yet there are still things that we can do that help us to support our health and well-being. One of the things that I recommend for my clients and I use for myself to achieve that is a product called ASEA. Now, what I love about ASEA, gives our body exactly what it needs. Our body makes something called REDOX molecules. And REDOX molecules are our cell-to-cell communication. They help our cells to communicate, to know what to do in our body to achieve our optimal health. Now, when we do not have enough REDOX molecules in our body and our cells are not communicating, what do you think is going to happen? We may deal with some of the health challenges and the fatigue that many of us experience. However, when you have those molecules, you have enough REDOX molecules, you're setting yourself up for a foundation of health. So what is ASEA? ASEA provides our body with the exact REDOX molecules that many of us are lacking so that we can support our health and well-being.
We are back, and I'm super excited about having Stephen here with us. He's going to be talking a little bit more about his own experiences, his coming back to fullness. I really appreciate that in the first segment when he was talking about his injury, it's been almost 11, 12 years, and he's just now in the last couple of years starting to feel completely like himself. I think there's such an important lesson inside of that in the society we were trying to rush and move forward and get to things quickly. And yet sometimes our body takes a moment for it to decide it's going to do all the different things that we're asking for it to do. And Stephen, I just really appreciated that part of your story, all of your story. I love that your wife was on the beach, and that one more time you chose to yell, that she heard, she saw, she was trained, that there was somebody else who was off duty who was able to come and help as well. All these different people. And then to be close to UCLA, to be able to get there. What an incredible experience. And then to go to Northridge as well. All of these incredible pieces falling into place exactly for you. But we started this whole conversation with you talking about how you are a glass half full person, and that's just who you are. Tell me how that helped you in this process of wiggling your toes and learning to walk again and doing this lunge and all the different things.
Right. Yeah. Sarah, I think told you since day one as a child all the way up, I never wanted to look back in my life. I've never looked back and been bummed out that, oh, I wish I would have done it this way. All right. I learned from that. And I think that how I approached, when I say the glass half full, it's like the alternative is a glass half empty. Man, we have such a short time on this freaking earth. It's, and it's, I know some of these things sound like cliches or what have you, but it's the truth, man. I mean, I'm here to tell you, it was, I looked at, and life got taken from me in a sense that very drastically. And, I just really realized that everything that I was going to put forth from that day forward, the glass was always half full for me, but it's a little sweeter now. Let me just tell you, the contents taste a lot sweeter and everything. And that's how I approach my business and my life in a sense. And because I think that is what's lacking a lot in this world. And I'm not going to get on the soapbox of that, but I'm going to do my part to keep this smile and this energy towards, the world and stuff, and be that person that somebody can look at, and where, obstacles, whether it's physical or mental, if you can understand that, hey, I understand what that is, or learn what that is, and then do the steps to whether me was to walk again, but that was a basic. It was very, very narrowed and focused at that time, but I did every little thing I had to do in order to be able to walk again. And you can bring that to any aspect of your life. And the fact of the matter is, I think too, is that I love the journey, man. I do. Because I want to keep those journeys going through my whole life. My parents are the the most incredible people in the world. And they are, I mean, I got to tell you, my dad's 85, 86, my mom's 81, you know, and the life that I see in them and how they're the best role models. But what they've done is they've just kept themselves moving, kept a positive, even though life gives you that. And I think that as role models has really helped how I approach every single day. And don't give me, you know what, too, Sarah, there's tragedies or what have you in life. It just can suck. I know it, but I think it's where we take from that. And and if I can be a catalyst or a help in that through my arena, awesome. You know, I will give you everything in that capacity and stuff. But I really think that it's up to us first, though, to really to make that glass a little sweeter with that half full, and then go from there. And I don't get off on these little tangents on that, but I hope that I can you can feel in me or hear in me that I'm not trying to make an act of it. It is what fills my veins and stuff. So.
And I so appreciate you talking about your parents, because I had heard also that your parents are just so incredible and that they're positive and that they are continuing to move even though they're in their 80s, that they understand that they are still embracing life. So I think maybe you may have learned some of this at home as well. But what are things that they do and or things that you do first thing in the morning to kind of help prepare yourself for the day?
For my parents, I will tell you that they're competitive ballroom dancers. We were just on that. They just, I think the big thing is it's getting up and moving, whether that's going for a walk, all right, whether that's doing some gardening, or my dad's a golfer. My mom loves to go hiking and stuff. And it's that being outside, get yourself outside for even a few minutes to get that vitamin D, that blood flowing. For myself, you know what, it's going to sound, I love my job. So I bounce out of bed without the alarm most of the times because it's really early. And I think mine is the excitement of what the day has in front of me. For me, it's to be able to deal with interaction with people. And I really, today's with technology and everything, it's a broken record. But this human connection thing, it's getting lost. So my excitement with you're asking me what gets me going is that I get to look somebody in the eye and ask them to maybe do things they don't want to do physically and everything. And sometimes before the sun comes up.
Yes.
But I try what I feel I've become successful in is that I make it not just a repetition type of thing. It's a journey and an experience in a positive way. And I think fitness can be that. And what a great catalyst to do that we can have fun, even though it can be difficult and everything. And you get benefits of physical, changes and the endorphins and all those positive things, and have a good quality time together. I mean, that's just precious. So I think
Yes. In your fitness training, are you primarily one-on-one? Because I know that you work with the stars, you work with people in very high offices, people who are on busy schedules. So no wonder you guys are working out before the sun comes up.
Right.
Yeah. What's your favorite way of training?
So I love that. Again, it's one of those things that too, I love it all, because what it is each kind of session or whatever or experience is different. When you're in a group setting, I love the group mentality, so I do all. You ask me, I do group training, which is large group. I work at Equinox in Santa Monica. I teach a class, used to be called Tough Love and stuff like that, which is so awesome because I'm in front of 20 to 35 people who are all from different walks of life, different fitness levels. And what I've prided myself on is to encompass that many people and make them all feel like they belong there. And I think that is something that, instead of somebody looking at fitness and go, well, I can never do that. Well, no, come in here and I can take care of you. And I'm going to show you should be in this class. Everybody can be in my class, no matter, even I've done adaptive wise. Then you have my people who they're couple trainings, that whether they're friends, The spouse training can be always very colorful and everything too, and stuff. So I could do that. And then the one-on-one. So you know what it is too, Sarah, is like I said, I do love it all. And everything with, I tell people, a one-on-one training, yeah, there's no distractions. When I'm in a sense of that I have to take care of a lot of people and I'm able to give that personal attention is something I've really worked hard on in my business, is that somebody can come and feel like, God, he really paid attention to me in a group setting. But yeah, so I do in a small group. I like I say, the chance to get in front of somebody, I tell people, I'll teach to one person or 100 people. Is what I just love, that I get to do what I get to do.
That's fabulous. We're going to take another commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have conversations with Stephen about what is on his website and what he has coming up.
Hi, I'm Julianne Meyer, the host of Own Your Wellness, and you can watch my show on Mondays and Thursdays from 4 to 5 p.m. Pacific on Achieve TV right here on E360 TV. Remember, there's more to health and wellness than broccoli and burpees.
And as we are back with Stephen Maresca, I am super excited for him to share with you what he has coming up, because he has an amazing website that you absolutely have to go visit. The link is going to be in the details here with us. And then also he has something brand new that's coming out. He's working on it. Stephen, tell us about what you got going on.
Well, I appreciate that. So I got to tell everybody too, I'm redoing the website. So like some of the videos and everything, but you can kind of see where there's some free stuff on there that you can see a workout and kind of how I operate there and stuff. And then also on my Instagram, kind of took a little hiatus from the social media for a bit and everything to kind of get some things prepared. And if you're talking about me writing, I'm in the midst of writing actually 2 books and everything. Now, I didn't get to tell you this when we first met, Sarah, and everybody out there, I'm severely dyslexic. So so that was one of the things that I always had to, how the way I learned and everything, I think is also part of where I ended up in my life at this point within fitness, because the physicality, I'm a hands-on individual. So it's been definitely a little bit of an adventure and things, but basically the one book is a children's book about being dyslexic and some of the trials and tribulations that go along. And then the other one is actually the Maresca way, is kind of my mantra of life. And, and how I just, we hear so many different ways of approaching how to stay fit and healthy and what have you. And, I'm going to give you, this is what's allowed me to be here at my advanced age of 55 and everything, which I love and embrace, because I have great role models, that you can do this for the rest of your life. And I think that's what I am putting into the book. And, I want people to hear this though. When you're trying to make a physical change, whether it's losing weight or really change how your physical appearance is, I know it's not easy. It is definitely a commitment. And I want to be very, very upfront about it. And I love the challenge. And why not? That's what's so great. If you have the ability to move, you better move, because I got it here. You're talking to somebody that, it was taken away, and it's such a gift. So do not waste that gift. And it's just my, guiding of you of how to, live the healthiest and fun and embrace life the best you can. So I hope it gets accepted well and what have you. And like I say, you will hear a lot in the book that the fun aspect of it. If it's always work, Sarah, I can't, like I said, we're just meeting, and I know we have a mutual friend and
Yes.
everything like that. Yeah. Who's just a blessing and everything. And we always talk about it, that, one of the reasons I get to work with her, and she says it, is that we have fun doing it. And before you know that, the time's up or whatever, your workout's done, he's like, oh, I did that and didn't even realize it was. Now, that being said, she has some extra push-ups when I I see her too. Yeah, we'll talk about that off camera.
Yes. When can we expect your book to be out, or your books?
I would hope that by the end of the year,
Yes.
type of thing. But there's some, I would hope to be something to present and stuff. But I'm going to do, Sarah, like I say, things on my end have just really started at apex on me getting back into the social media and embracing that and stuff more, and really realizing that, I have to understand that's today's world and stuff. So I need to stay relevant in that. And so I'm a snail because I want to do it right and stuff. I don't want to just throw something out there. So, but I will be having updates on my Instagram and website as to how that comes out. Maybe some little teasers too.
Oh, I like that idea. Teasers are always interesting, because it makes your brain kind of go, oh, this is what I know already about Stephen's journey. And then, he's sharing a little bit more. What's the next part going to be? And I so love that. And thank you also for sharing about the dyslexia part.
Yeah.
Because as I was a teacher for 35 years, and we just don't talk about a whole lot, is how do you help people? How do you, no matter their age, when they are working through some different pieces about how they take information in? And so what did you find to be helpful for you when you were in school?
I struggled. Because I got diagnosed when I was in 5th grade. And I remember, and this is kind of one of those things that will be in my book about how, I didn't want to be different, and here, how about this one? I'm 5th grade. I'm going into 6th grade. I get diagnosed with dyslexia. I'm also losing my hair as a young kid. So I can't, I'm starting to grow bald and everything. So the teasing and all those things, the bullying and stuff. But I got to tell you, I took that for whatever reason, my person, and I was able to deflect it in a way to make me a stronger person. And I had to learn differently. And for me, I wish I would have taken more advantage of the programs even at that time that were available, but I didn't want to be different. So I struggled harder, and I would maybe cheat a little bit to get by and things. But in my cheating abilities of like school, I learned it. And I was like, God, if I could just apply myself. So what happened is I had a really great teacher, and he, and it wasn't until I was in college, and the way that he could see how I struggled, and he just really realized you have to learn differently. And what it was hands-on, meaning that I got to go and talk to him, and he could ask me, and I could touch or feel about the anatomy things. And that's how I really realized. So that's how I instruct, because I understand I want to do it verbally, physically, all right, and then all within showing wise, and then through touch. And I think that that's how I have continued to grow, is through that. I took my time because I thought I was going to be a professional soccer player through school. So I got very inundated with education because it took me a few more years than most. And my parents were like, could you maybe just wrap it up now? But so that's it. And once I really applied myself and took the time and realized I'm not going to be able to do it in 10 minutes like some of the others. I'm going to need it. I learned it. And once I learn it, though, I never forget it.
Exactly.
And as a teacher, that those are sometimes your best students ultimately, because they maintain that knowledge and stuff.
They do.
So,
and they're able to also then build upon it. So it's not just learning it for the test and now we're done. And often there's a much higher auditory memory as well. They can pull pieces. And I would think that would probably be true for you, that, somebody might listen to something and pull a little bit of information out of it, but you're listening to it and pulling out so much more and attaching it to other information as well, to hold on to that in a different way, which is a really cool way that our brains are able to weave things together.
Right. Yes, absolutely. I like that a lot. Now that's why I know all those songs and all the
It
music
is.
today, right?
Yeah.
Now I
You could,
wish I play a phenomenal air guitar. I really wish I could play guitar, but my air guitar is on another level.
I bet it is. You could, because you could also learn to play by ear.
Yes.
As a musician, I am certain that you could absolutely do that if you wanted to take the time to be able to invest in
Right.
this as
Well,
well.
and I'm sorry. Go on.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, and I realize now, not that I'm going to get up and start dancing. My wife was a professional dancer and stuff like that. So she knows the count, like, and she'll ask me, all right, now do it on the 8 count or whatever. I'm like, just don't do counting. This bald, beautiful man, well, I just feel it like, okay, that now I know when to go. So it's so funny that because my brain was, but if you just let me kind of organically feel, like I said, it happens and everything. And like I said, I will save your audience my dancing moves.
Oh. So I have to ask, Stephen, you have surfboards behind you. Are you allowed still to surf?
Yeah. Now, do not I will not give Dr. Lou this. No, I'm just teasing. Yes. You know what? I definitely, I surf. Absolutely. Surfing. And it's such a, how do I say that? It's the cliche too. It feeds your soul. And what I do, I will say this though, Sarah, I don't surf the way I used to. I don't, but again, I got hurt in a very small day. I just don't take the chances. I was the one that my friends, like, it would be just crazy out there. I'm like, it looks so good and everything. And they're like, we're not going out, dude. I'm like, well, I'm going out. I don't do that anymore. And but there's that connection. It's my piece. It's my meditation per se. So I will say this, there's that glass half full. Surf, where it used to be how many waves you get in 1 minute. Now it's just being in the water, it's just, and I've always had a sense of that, but it's not much sweeter. And I surf with my buddy, my buddy Donald, and everything, that I assist him in getting in the water. If you saw the two of us together, you're like, oh, look at those special ones out there. I know it's really quick story. The other day we're out surfing, and he needs his crutches to help him get him out, and I'm seizing up because it was cold and I didn't wear a wetsuit. So I'm like, and the lifeguard is running by, and he literally stops because we look like we're gonna just die. And he literally stops and he goes, "Are you two okay?" Just got this look on his face. I'm like, "I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, we're fine." But I could see you looking at us like, "Am I gonna have to do some CPR here with these two?" Or what? So yeah. Those guys, every time they see us down, they're like, "Oh, not these two. Come on." Yeah.
There's also something for me that's so healing about having to look when the tides are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a great surfer by any means at all, but absolutely love getting into the water when we like to vacation when possible on Kauai. And for me, spiritual experience being out with the turtles. And there's this very specific place that we love to go, but have learned to never go in high tide. And so this whole thing about looking to see when the tides are going to be, when they be low, when they be high, what's happening in the water. There's that connection, and I can see how giving up surfing and not necessarily being able to do that with something to look forward to could be a very, very difficult thing. And again, it's that inner conversation that you're having with yourself about that glass half full. But I think there's also, in part of that, what I hear you saying is this piece of gratitude, of noticing that, your toe is able to move, and you're like, okay, we've got something here. And that you can go back to sleep just knowing that we're moving together in the right place, in the right way.
Right. Yeah. I was going to say too, you just mentioned something that also that calminess, when you said you love the sea turtles, aren't they just amazing how they're in no rush. It just, we were just in Hawaii, and I just remember seeing the sea turtle. And it's like, that's how I'm at in my life now too. There's no the spastic rush of things, smell those flowers, right. I mean, just you saying the sea turtle just triggered that. I just remember seeing these two of them, and they just cruising, and it was just so internally pleasing. And also very thankful that, like you say, that I get to to still experience that. Because the ocean is I think why I love it so much still, and it is still, even though there can be a scare, it's alive. I mean, it truly is a moving entity in our, experience. Unlike, you look at the mountains or what have you, and there the snow, it's beautiful and you can ski and all that, but the terrain is fixed. The ocean is just forever alive. And I think that that's what I'm how I'm going to approach the rest of my life, and how I always have is, I'm alive. I'm going to take advantage of it and give forth everything I can in my being to others as well and stuff.
And I think also in part of this conversation is this place of seeing people capable. And even seeing ourselves capable. I tried something new this time. Our daughter had gone paddleboarding and she was like, hey, let's do it. Stand up paddleboard, let's go.
Right.
It was a longer journey than what I thought it was going to be.
Right.
Because we went upriver first. We could have done the shorter going out to the ocean first and then back up. And I was like, no, I think I want to go up to this very specific place. And then there are these herons, these birds that we had, which they called Hawaiian hawks. And we could see them, and that there was one place that had a nest with little babies just looking out with us. And as soon as they saw us, they just froze, right? Because they didn't want to be seen.
Right.
And that whole experience of being able to be in this place that most people weren't going upriver first. They were going to go a different direction. Right. But just seeing myself capable, and no matter how it was going to end up, I was going to really enjoy the experience of it, even though it was new, even though I was awkward at it at moments. Right. And had moments of greatness in my own mind with it. And people would come along with boats, little tiny boats, and not be so stable. But it was that whole idea, right, of seeing ourselves or seeing other people capable and believing in that process of this newness. I so love that about you, Stephen.
I love. Well, too, Sarah, I think too is what I want people that I get to come across or whatever is the effort to at least try something. All right. We talk about growth, and people don't, with change or what have you. And now I don't need you, doing the crazy skydive, but trying things outside your comfort zone to a degree is such a powerful thing in growth and stuff. And you think that writing this book is not something like that? I'm so outside my comfort zone, but it's been a great learning experience, at least, and stuff too. But I love that the paddleboard one too, that, because everybody goes, oh, you should have this number. I did my first time stand-up paddle. I could not stand up on the thing. I was getting so bloody mad at it until somebody said, just look at the horizon. And all of a sudden it studied me, Wow. I think too, that's the other thing is being a guide. I always try and tell people, you're going to do this journey. I'm here to make sure you stay safe. All right. Having a good experience with it, but like it or not, you're the one that's going to do the walk and what have you. I will throw things out to help you in different paths, but that's how you grow, man. And I think that that's the beauty of what I get to do and stuff for a living and things.
And I think that that's what the Maresca way is all about, also with fitness, right?
Yeah.
Is you are showing people that they can. It's ultimately up to them to do. But because of your energy and your excitement about just try one more thing or try it in this different way, make the adaptation for yourself. Right. And along that adaptation thing, my husband's left-handed, and I've known this, right? I've been here almost 20 years. I've known this. But we have been putting some pieces of things together physically. And my orientation on things is completely right-handed, and his is completely left-handed. And I've just come to this new appreciation for how people look at things and how they start to work on things completely has to do with if they're right-handed or left-handed or ambidextrous or whatever it happens to be.
Right.
And again, that beautiful learning curve of, hey, this is kind of a cool thing. I wonder if I can do it this other way. Can I try it left-handed?
Right. That's what, when I got was, and on the initial injury, my one side, what it was is my left side, which I'm right-handed, was actually progressing quicker. and stuff. So it was learned. It was very interesting because one, I'm not left-handed, and all the finer motor skills and everything that had to take place, but I was progressing. It was crazy. I was really progressing left-handed. So I started to become dominant in some of the left-handed things. So it was really, and I think that's the other thing about our bodies. We are a very resilient organism. And, if we feed it right, we take care of it, and the other ones, we can pretty much do anything in a sense, type of thing. And I think that is what I also want people to understand is, if you put yourself in a position of success by taking care of yourself, doing all the right things, then the sky's the limit. I mean, it really is. That left-handed thing though, too. It is crazy. Well, that's like that. What is it? Phil Mickelson, who my wife actually danced with his wife. He's not left-handed. Yeah. But did you ever hear that story that his dad used to put the golf ball down for his dad, and he faced his dad, right? And his dad was right-handed, hit the ball. I don't know if you heard this one. And then when it was time he goes, all right, his dad later down in life said, all right, your turn, and put him in right-handed because he's right-handed. He goes, no. And that's how he's left-handed. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. I love that. I love how the brain works like that.
I do too. It's just so incredible.
The cool things, right? It's so cool.
We're going to take another quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to have another conversation with Stephen talking about him reiterating, sharing again what he really wants for us to hear that we walk away with from this conversation.
If you're looking for an author, speaker, and confidence coach who is passionate about helping entrepreneurs and leaders improve their presence and confidence so they can reach the success they desire faster, meet Vanessa Raymond.
I'm Vanessa Raymond. I am an author, a speaker, a multiple business owner, and a confidence coach. I come from a very physical background. A lot of the time, we feel like we have more control over our physical body than we do over our mental, emotional. So I like to come from the outside in.
Vanessa will help you achieve unstoppable confidence through the art of powerful posture, positive body language, and dynamic vocal image, which are tools to energetically and physically show up as the very best version of yourself so you can create meaningful relationships in business and in life.
If you are ready to elevate your game, sign up for your free consultation. Act it, feel it, be it.
For more information or to schedule a consultation, contact Vanessa at www.victoryfactor.com.
I have absolutely loved this conversation with Stephen. Part of it, of him just sharing his own story, is so compelling. Having that horrible accident and yet being able to, with all the different pieces that were in there, choose to continue to move forward and taking all the time that he needed to come back completely to his full self. And then that he's writing a book, actually too, super exciting. And I also love that he's taken some time away from social media to be able to focus on the things that he loves to do. I know that some people will say, you just got to keep. And I do believe that there's this breathing, right? We breathe in and we breathe out, and that there's time for us to be able to take some downtime, that breathing out space as well. Stephen, as you come back in, I would just want to hear you reiterate or share another tool that you want people to walk away from this conversation remembering and applying to their own life.
Right. I think there's two things. I was, when we were on that break, I'm sorry. I want people to be authenticity of what, and I think that is, be true to yourself and understand that it might sometimes, if you don't like what you're seeing or feeling, is make the change. That is something that I'm learning too, especially after my accident and then just in the recent couple of years as things is, understanding that there are some things that I'm not able to do, understand that. And not that, and don't be frustrated with it. And then how do I adapt to that? So the ability to adapt that one. And then I guess there's the acceptance of, the other one is accepting the things that you have to do in order to change too. Again, if that changes. So I don't know how to say it. Like I have to accept, that like I say, within my injury, there's a couple things that I just will never be able to do. And instead of dwelling on that and what have you, is I've taken a different road, and it's opened up all this other, experiences that I didn't think I would be doing. And what I mean by that is that I don't surf the way I used to. So I found other activities, that have really given me I never thought I'd go hiking up in Mount Langley to be at 14,000, and the joy that brought to me, and to see the vastness of that. I never thought I'd do that, but because I understand, instead of trying to do surf sooner than I should have, and then maybe even hurt myself, is like, oh, let's go in another area. And that was really something that I try to teach and stuff. And don't be complacent, don't be complacent. I think that complacency can breed, plateaus or what have you. So challenge yourself. Doesn't always have to be harder, but change is good. Don't be afraid of change. So I think that oh wait, one more thing, and have freaking fun with it. Sorry. I'm sorry. I hope I got to tell you, I didn't, that was probably the only F-bombing was freaking. My wife was saying, do not be swearing. I do swear sometimes. I go, you just met Sarah. All right. She doesn't understand your potty mouth stuff. So I think I did pretty good, maybe.
You did great. You absolutely did great. And I so appreciate you sharing all these different parts of your life with us. And thank you so much. And we would love, when your book comes out, for you to come back in and share some more ideas and concepts with us. So thank you so much, Steve.
Thank you for your time too. I appreciate it. Love to all.
Absolutely. Thank you. So we're going to share one more idea with you that is something that has been super near and dear to my heart. Stephen and I have been talking about do what you can where you are. And yes, it's been about the physical, taking care of our bodies, but there's also this idea of being able to help other people do what they can with where they are. And so if you've been following along, you might know that a chunk of my life I spent, actually was born in Congo, and had the opportunity to meet the person who started this program. He was actually somebody that my parents had just really encouraged in his own journey. And so for me, there's this connection back to that as well. And if you are inspired by this, I just encourage you to come join us in this project. So here it is, the Mama Lynn Project.
Do you wonder if you can actually make a difference in a war-torn country half a world away? One man has decided a difference can be made. The Mama Lynn Center in Central Congo gives women who have been ravaged by war a chance at a new life. Women and their families, including husbands, come to learn how to move forward. The women are taught sewing skills to be able to create an income. At the end of their year-long training, each graduate receives a sewing machine. This is where your support dramatically impacts lives. $150 US provides a new hand-operated sewing machine. Here's the link and QR code to join Sarah and Michael Stockham in positively changing futures through the Mama Lynn Sewing Machine Project. We are grateful for the opportunity to share how you can make a significant difference.